So the first time I ever interviewed to get hired was when I was 16.
Wow.
And
you started working at the age of 16?
Yes.
Wow.
It's not too long ago, don't worry. But yeah, it was when I was 16 and it was for a bank.
Were you in school or you were?
I was in school.
Wow. Hello guys, welcome to Absolute Podcast. And today I have amazing guest with me. The topic for today is really, really fantastic and I'm very sure you guys would enjoy every bit of it. On my right here,
Osi.
I have.
Am I correct? Is it Osi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So on my right here, I have Itty.
Hi.
Itty is a media professional. Let me put it that way. But he's going to introduce himself as we start the show. And on my left here, I should have done ladies first, but okay, regardless.
It's fine, it's allowed.
I beg you, joke.
So on the left here, I have this amazing, beautiful soul here.
Hi guys.
Omowunmi Sodimu. She's an HR practitioner. What should I? Okay,
you're right. You're correct.
She's my personal therapist.
Yeah. God bueno.
When I have problems,
hope you are paying her.
I have no words.
She's my problem solver.
Okay, so how should we go about this now? I think you should introduce yourself.
Yeah, that's
now.
fine.
Okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Omowunmi Sodimu. I worked as an HR professional for 3 years. I'm currently transitioning into a special needs therapist. I think that's why IT kept saying.
So me, I be special needs. Hey, God, I
don't mean it that way, but yeah, I worked in the HR space for 3 years, and it was really an exciting journey for me. And I really hope you'd learn a lot from what we'll share today. Welcome.
All right, thank you. On my right, IT. Yeah.
Apausi. Anyways, guys, I'm IT, and I actually have special needs. That's why she tends to my special needs, because it's God that is helping me day to day in this life. IT Okim is my name. I'm a journalist. I have a podcast as well. I do a couple of other things. Oh, Beji's podcast, by the way. I do PR. You can just cap everything as media. I do media. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Media.
Thank you very much.
On today's...
What's your name? What do you do?
Okay.
Exactly.
My name is Olukunle. My name is Olukunle. I'm a brand strategist and a design educator. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about, like I said, hiring and working with Gen Zs. So what would you like to say about that for me?
Okay, I think we should first of all start with
an agreement that we can drag each other. Let's start with that agreement.
No problem.
Yeah, well, that's
part
of it.
I feel like we have to sign something.
No problem.
That's part of it. But I think we should start with defining or trying to just lay a ground rule, not a ground rule, basically just try to lay a foundation so that nobody is having a misconception of who Gen Zs are. IT, who do you think Gen Zs are?
You shouldn't ask me. I have special needs.
Because I know people have different opinions, right? Yeah. So let's so that for the purpose of this conversation, who are the people we're referring to as Gen Zs?
I think there is an age bracket to this generation thing.
And I think it's okay.
I think it's different with even countries.
Yeah.
Like UK has its own standard, the US has its own.
Yes.
Nigeria used to follow anyone.
Nigeria, yes. I wanted to say that.
But I think it's from the age limit starts from the people who are 25 now. What year was that? 78? 98. 98 to
2009-ish.
Is it?
Somewhere around that, either 9 or 10.
Yes.
Yeah. So practically, I am Gen Z. You are not and you are not. Let me so say it from the start. They are not. So it's only me now, and I will rep you people. Don't worry.
Yeah, actually, that was why we had to make this balance for this episode.
But
it's not balance.
I'm not a millennial. I'm a Gen Z.
You say?
You escaped Gen Z now.
Is it not a lie?
No, I almost escaped, but I don't know if I escaped.
Let's agree for this purpose.
Okay, for the purpose of this conversation, I'm a millennial, right?
Okay, thank you.
In real life, she's a millennial. I 25.
That's in my mind.
We all know that for me, she's like 72.
What do you mean?
Okay, I feel.
All right, guys. So yes, so hiring a Gen Z. So let me just talk from perspective.
Sorry, can I start with a question? Have you worked or hired as a HR person, have you worked?
Oh yes. So working for 3 years, I worked majorly as a recruiter, right, for like 2 of those years. And majority of people that I recruited were Gen Zs. Not because I don't know, there was just an attraction. And you know how people say that Gen Zs are quite difficult, they are irrational and all. I think I'm attracted to that quality in them, right?
So wait. How many things have you called us now? We have not this podcast. Have you reached 3 minutes?
Don't
Check
worry,
your phone.
Your time is coming.
No. I'm
Continue.
talking based on general labeling, not like what happens in real life, like what's reflective.
No,
in
let's
real life.
talk about real life. Too.
Yeah. So, but in real life, hiring a Gen Z, I think it's interesting. It's not something that anybody should label as tiring or should shy away from. But I think the usual issue is the initial stages, because let's try to see the characteristics that people Itty said we shouldn't say you're irrational. So so there are some labels, right, that people have used. So I believe these things are basically social constructs, because you know, just like we all learned in philosophy. If you did, I did.
We all. Did you learn it?
I learned something in
I
philosophy about
Okay,
people
me, I
being
don't
born
know
as
anything about
blank slates, right? I think it was John Locke, like tabula rasa. There is nobody who was born a Gen Z. Nobody there, like everybody was born as a human being. Being a Gen Z is basically a social construct. So I believe that is one of the things that affect the people who are called Gen Zs, because you now want to associate with a particular set of values, a particular set of laid down rules that you think because this thing looks cool or it sounds cool, and people my age are the people doing it. So that's what affects them. But I mean, on the flip side of that, I think it's a really interesting journey. I've hired quite a number of Gen Zs, and I've worked majorly with them, like for most of my, even apart from HR life, even in my house, I have 2 Gen Zs in my
before
house.
we even talk about sorry
so
for cutting
it's
you short.
interesting.
Before we talk about working with them now,
Okay.
the hiring part, I think you've said something about that, but let's hear from
what do you think about your guys?
what do you think about like the hiring process? Like, have you been
Gen Z people.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have so many stories. I don't even know if I can tell them, to be honest. But I have so many stories
Feel free.
of
It's
my
absolute.
earlier years.
Okay.
Me trying to
What
get
do you mean
hired.
earlier years?
I don't want to say when I was young because I'm young. I know that you're not waiting for me to say when I was small. I will not say in my earlier years, like years before this one.
Okay.
Don't drag me.
When you were like 19?
No,
Minus.
I was even younger. So the first time I ever like interviewed to get hired was when I was 16.
Wow.
And
You started working like at the age of 16.
Yes.
Wow.
It's not too long ago, don't
before
worry.
I-
But yeah, it was when I was 16 and it was for a bank.
Were you in school or you were?
I
done
was
with
in school.
Wow.
So what did they expect you to do at 16?
What did I expect? Me will carry myself go. We will carry myself go to the interview. What did I expect? I just really I felt like I had a lot to offer, and I wanted to offer it. And so an opportunity came. I think it was on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook that knew me from Facebook at the time. Facebook was hot now, and the person was like, "Oh, there's this content management, blah blah blah. That this bank wanted to run an online campaign, and they needed somebody to handle content. So the person suggested it. Of course, the person didn't know my age. The person didn't even know that I was in secondary school. So they sent it over. I found time to go for the interview. I skipped school that day.
Okay.
Actually, we were supposed to go for a competition, and me and my daddy, we have already agreed that I'm not going for any competition for that school again. So I'm just like, okay, I won't tell my dad that I'm not going again.
Okay.
I'll just go to school. That's where I'm going to school from there. I'm now Japan to Island to go and do the interview. So that's what I did. Yeah, that's what I did, because I felt, I don't know, I'm sure everybody has felt very creative at some point in their life, and they just really want to pour it out. So that was where I was. So I went to that place now. I don't know, when I was 16, I didn't exactly look 16, so they couldn't tell from my
Even now,
looks.
you don't look your age.
I'm old, Motidawa, but do well, yeah, true. So they couldn't tell from my face that I was 16. I got there with almost no qualification, but I was good. And then we did the interview. The interview was going great. So my biggest fear, and I feel like it's the same for most Gen Z people, is what am I going to say at the interview? Like, what exactly are they going to ask me, and what am I going to say? So we know how on Google they tell you that when they ask you for salary, don't say it or something. There are so many things like that, and I don't even know what to believe anymore. should I say it or should I not say it? Do you understand? I had lots of those questions, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go and freestyle. Like anything they ask, I'll answer, and I'll be as honest I can be. I know say that one not to work, but I tried. So yeah, I feel like most Gen Z people, that's what is going in their heads when they are going for interviews. So I got there now, one babe and one senior guy like this.
These are the issues. You are calling your hiring manager babe and
but
guy.
She was a babe now, and he was a guy
issues.
now. Should I call them mommy and daddy? Okay, my mommy and daddy, they were there. I don't understand. One
A
OG
lady
like that.
and a guy. A lady and a gentleman. These are the issues.
Shit, is that why they
Bang, 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 battle line.
now wow. One babe and one senior man there. They sat down there, yeah, and they started asking the questions. In my mind, firstly, I'm like, these questions they're asking me, they're on my CV. Why are you asking me? That was the first thing. So yeah, they did that, and then this somebody mentioned I can't see a university degree here. Not even WAEC too, because I had not written WAEC at the time. Like only first school leaving, only first school leaving certificate. I'm like, yeah, that's because I'm not in school yet. They're like, oh, okay, you're having problems getting to school. What do you want to study?
Jamming.
I'm like, I'm not done with secondary school.
Wow.
And they're like, they tried so hard to hide the shocks on their faces because they did, okay, before the interview, we did a test each.
Oh, okay.
And I was the best.
Wow.
So like they were like 3 of us that they called back, and I was the best of the 3.
Oh.
So I sabi the work. Do you understand? I sabi the
And
work.
that's something about Gen Zs really, like they are quite, like they are very independent. So sometimes that's why for them there's a kind of hiring technique that you don't really need the qualifications like the soft the what's it called, the hard skills, more like the qualifications that you can. So most of them have they have experiences in different things. Like I want to hire a content manager. This person has worked with so many companies as a freelancer, and then I have somebody who has worked with just one company for 10 years. I would definitely pick that Gen Z over. Then I don't mind training the Gen Z to bring him up to speed on other soft skills and all. But I think that's one of the qualities they always have. Like they are very versatile. They can do so many things, or they've done quite a number of things. And I mean, that I give it to them because they can be boxed. But the major issue I have is freedom can be a cage sometimes, really.
Nah lie, just sweet to hear. Nah lie, freedom no be cage.
Now why they know the year more?
Sorry, Lamba. Freedom can be a cage with
Actually, freedom can be when you are too. Because one of the issues most Gen Zs that I've related with, right? This is not a stereotype, is they always have the issue of self-regulation, and if you cannot self-regulate, really you can't work in a structured environment. And no company, I don't want to set up my company and have you behave the way you like to behave. There is a structure, there is a culture. So I think that's one of the issues that people always have working with Gen Zs. They just want to, if I can get the job done, what's the point of having me do it between 8 to 5?
Okay,
I can
there
do
should
it
be
in
a
the
balance.
midnight.
Okay, so there should be a balance to the structure thing. I'm all down for structure. I always like to say that I'm not even sure I'm really Gen Z like that, because I feel like I'm not Gen Z enough.
We should assume that you're a bad representation for them today.
No, because I will fight for you. But sometimes I have that feeling that I'm not Gen Z enough. Like,
why?
I don't know. Maybe because sometimes the structure part of me comes out, and then not so many people my age, and then there are things that people my age do I cannot do it.
So
Things
which
like
brings me back to nurture actually. So that's why I said that human beings are born like empty, like blank slate, right? So there is this place of nurture. So it's not usually
blank
so.
slate. We are coming back.
Blank slate can write off me.
So
Baby,
we're
I'm
actually
blank
blank
slate,
slates, born as blank slates, right? So we can, so the place of nurture, like I was saying, I have 2 Gen Zs in my house. Like I have 2 sisters. There are some things they would not do, regardless of whether or not they are Gen Z. Even if they say Gen Zs are the worst of all and all of this, and they do this and this, they would never do those because they have been brought up in a certain way. So I think that's where the structure you try. There's a way how you've been brought up just comes into play. Sometimes you want to escape, but sometimes it just
honestly, that's why I don't feel Gen Z enough. And coming to the structure thing, I feel like sometimes I'm on the side of, okay, you have to do this rules, and I'm usually on that side when I am the oldest person around. So when I'm with younger people, like doing work with younger people,
Yeah.
or people my age that act my age, I become the person that is
yeah.
like, no, you must do it the way it's supposed to be
Yeah.
done. But when I'm not, when I'm in a place where I'm probably the youngest or one of the younger ones,
You want to rep.
I want to do my P. Like, don't even stress me. Don't tell me. And then everything is sweeter until you are told to do it.
Exactly. Yes.
Especially in my house. Go and wash plates. I will wake up and I'll wash my
you
plate for
still wash
myself. No, but
But
like that time.
that affects me. It even affects me. So that's why I'm saying maybe I just escaped being a Gen Z by just a few months or so. Because sometimes I want to do. I wake up with the plan to do this thing, but then you now say you have to. That's the end.
I know this.
Let's move on to other things,
Really?
like higher things in life. I will
And
probably
then I feel like sometimes these structures actually slow people down. And it's real. I'm not just saying this because it sounds nice to say. Sometimes the structures you put in place are limiting me. And I might just feel like I want to do my own P because it will get the job done faster and even in a more incredible way that you have not noticed because you are stuck in your structure. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are some things that I might get overexcited about, so I don't see the loopholes in what I'm about to do.
doing, yeah.
But the structure will have checked that if I follow the structure. So I just feel like there should be a balance. So
Yeah.
probably employers should have a structure, but make it flexible enough for creativity too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that they miss a
We
lot.
get to the part where we ask questions about how to, regulate some of the things. But on my own side of this or Gen Z thing, my experience working with Gen Z, by the virtue of Design Goes to School, I've been able to work and recruit people to come on board as a volunteer and all of that. And it has been really, really fun for me. Though at the end of the day, the sad part is the fact that one of the major things that people would say about Gen Z people is the fact that they don't like being part of the process. They like it when everything is soft and done just to come
Can't the
and
process
I
be
I
soft?
don't know. I don't
Why
know.
you want
But
suffer?
this is, please don't come at me.
Why
It's
can't the process be soft?
Millennials like hard work, so far ahead.
Why?
So I'm not just talking about hard work now. Whether hard or soft, the point is there is work to be done, whether hard or soft.
Yeah, I
If
think
it's
I
soft, me,
quite
I'm
agree
down.
with
Yeah.
that.
No,
I
no,
quite
if it's
agree.
soft, I'm
I think
down.
we've had this conversation before, Itty, where we're talking about Gen Zs, how that Gen Zs, they are almost, the people I've worked with, of everyone I've worked with, I think my Gen Z guys are the most creative and innovative. The issue
I
is
agree.
the doing,
I agree.
which comes back to the process. So they don't want to do not that they don't want to do the, sometimes they don't know how, but they have the idea. So that's why I think what we're talking about that it was how to walk around. They are getting to the point of doing the work. They will drop the idea, they will drop. So that's, I always say that there are some roles. That's why you now have to be
Take. I like you. I like this auntie. I like her.
so we have to be careful, and then you have to be very intentional about the roles. So that these roles, just bring them into the roles where they can drop the creative ideas and all.
Why are you stressing me in a place that's not my
like
strength?
to work like in my even me even amongst when I was working amongst within a team where like 7 people or 8 people, and then we had I think we had one Gen Z, then we had millennials, and then other guys. Like, we like to do the work. Let the babe bring the idea. I don't mind. I will structure, like I will break down the process, but I feel like employers these days want to get so much from from just one person. So that's why. So, and that's the difference between Nigerian employers and recruiters. Say global recruiters, they specialize. So you are bringing in this person as maybe a creative innovator or something. The person, what the person does, it brings the ideas, tries to work around strategy if he can, then every other person does the work. And I think that's one of the things that we need to balance out in the recruitment space in Nigeria.
Why would you be stressing me in some way that is not my
I think
strength?
it's something that would really favor the Gen Zs, because usually they really enjoy, they are very creative. In this room, when you are trying to say, okay, let's do this thing this way, they've thought about 1,000,001 other ways that you can do it, and it will be really fantastic. But the issue is we are so bent on, this is how we want to do it, how can we do it, let's go through this door. This is, and they want to go through the ceiling. They are very explorative in their nature. They are very exploratory. They want to explore. They want to, but we have to now know that the business is not structured in that way. Money will be lost if you are trying to explore at every point in time.
And I think sometimes for the employers, they are not willing to take the risk of new ideas, or maybe so that is why
course.
they
That's
want
not my.
I
That's
did
not a me problem. That's a you problem.
No, but I did not build my business for you to come and be dropping 20 million ideas
No.
every
When
time.
you employed me, I just feel like you can.
I did not employ you to come and drop ideas. I employed you to come and work to collaborate
like,
and make these
already.
things
See,
work.
I don't know too much about HR. I think I did a course in HR 1 year like that. But I know that when you're hiring people here, you're hiring them for their strengths. And if you know that my strength is idea creation, just leave it to me and then give the other stuff to the people who want to do that.
Understand okay, so there's
And that's not me problem.
No,
That's
but
their
see,
problem.
In your JD, right? It's not like this is
Clean,
the only thing. There are
edit
so
the
many.
JD. Edit
There are
it.
so many things that are on your JD that you need to do. See, it's
That's the
actually
point.
it's a general issue in life. There are some parts of the work that you need to do that you don't enjoy, but you need to work to enjoy. You can't always be happy doing everything.
Oh no, you can.
No, I don't think
Chill.
so.
Okay, so this is the problem. This is the problem. This is where we never meet. Number one, it is possible. It's just like, oh no, I don't want to talk about. Okay, so like when they say God is good, and people find it hard to accept that God is good, and why? They tell you that somebody is really good, and then you are like, no, but he killed so person. Guy, they just told you that God. So now, in the same way, it is very possible for it to be absolute. It's possible for me to have a job that I 100% love. It's possible for me to have a job that is 100% idea creation.
I'm not disputing
So why not
that
give
fact.
me the job that only involves me creating ideas and
But
leave
you
me
can't-
alone with the execution, because I don't want to do.
But did you
and it's not by
apply
force.
for the job that just says that alone? See, in Nigeria, you cannot see the Nigeria that we have now. There are not so many companies where you get to specialize. You have to do quite a number of
Why?
things.
Why?
And it's in your JD. Even
Clean
while
it.
you are say clean it.
Clean it. I don't want it. If you want to employ me and you realize that I'm the idea guy,
Better go and
but the
don't
job
spoil your future.
no, you realize that the job will involve me working,
Okay.
and you can tell that I don't like this work. Why are you still giving me the job? Don't give me now. I'll go and look for the one that they will give me.
So I think the one thing that Gen Zs have failed to realize is there's a space for growth. There's always room for growth in every whatever you do. So usually it's in the process of growing. Sometimes
Sorry, not just even growth now, flexibility.
Yes,
Trying
it's
something.
in the
I think that's a
process
better
of-
word, because growth might just be like growth
Yeah.
in my idea creation. I know what comes for the.
So another thing that I figured out, sorry for cutting
no,
you short,
that's
is
fine.
that since I mentioned earlier that I've worked with Gen Z and I still work with some of them, and one thing that helped me is it was when I got to know about this ideology about their ideators and their executors. So your ability
Exactly.
to understand that this person is an ideator, it cannot. So in most cases, it's not like ideators cannot execute, but they have
Exactly.
more strength.
Yeah.
Ideating.
But
Why
most
executors
Gen Zs
too?
just want to. Sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
Most Gen Zs just want to focus on one. This is what I want to do. Let me just bloom in
But
my
we
space.
not pay everybody better at the end of the
But
day.
at the end of the day, if
Uh-huh.
everybody is pouring out idea, who will execute the idea?
There are people who want to execute, for Christ's
Are
sake.
there Gen Zs like that?
Why do you want Gen Z? Do you need me to be
But
Gen Z before
it
you?
is their time now. They need to grow up into that.
It's
those
not your
things
business. You're not my dad. If my dad comes to
This-
me
see,
and
this
tells
is
me,
what I'm
no, for real. If my dad comes to me and tells
know
me
the year
that
word,
he
yeah.
wants me to grow as an executor, that I'm too much of an idea guy,
no.
I'll listen to my father because he's my father. But who are you? Because
So-
you are employing
so the
me.
point-
You not
the
come and
point
tell
is
me I'm
not that
supposed to grow as an
You
executor.
must
Why?
be an executor,
It's
but
for the
you being able to
business.
balance. That is where
I
the
don't want to
flexibility
balance.
comes.
And
And
Is it by
then
force?
you need
And
to
go,
realize
go.
that
Hey,
these
exactly. I
guys.
will go.
You need to realize that these guys are paying you to do this thing. I don't want to.
They are not
employ-
paying you to do
They are not
it your way.
paying you to do
They
to
don't
do
dey coach me.
you.
Oh, yeah,
No,
it's
no,
okay,
it's
okay,
because
it's
they have
okay.
like. So there is one thing about the ideas or the ways you've done things in the past, and you have track record of results for it. So that is why most of these things becomes like the structure for organizations or for places of work.
I don't like
And-
Kunle. I don't like you know why you have taken sides.
No, I'm not taking
you're not
sides.
supposed to
I love
outside.
Gen Z.
You're not supposed to
I love-
outside in
I
this
love you guys
conversation.
like really much, but there needs to be like a balance to
Exactly,
these
there
whole
should
things.
be balance. I think the balance is for the employers to find who they are looking for.
Okay, I think we should just go
Yeah.
straight to the question part now so that it can help
Yes,
us,
yes, I
navigate
think
things better.
that works.
Okay, so I have
I'm
a few
ready.
questions for
I'm ready.
you
Go fight.
guys. Okay, yeah.
Maybe you say I have special needs.
Okay.
No, voila.
You said that
I
yourself.
think we've talked about some of these things.
Yes,
Okay, the first one here is what are some defining characteristics of Gen Z?
Over to you.
Me?
Gen-Z.
Characteristics
Your
of
characteristics.
Gen Z. What are the things
I don't think
that
I'm
when
in
you
best
see,
place.
you know that this person is not Gen Z, not Gen Z.
Okay, so first of all, the Gen Z thing is a stereotype.
Exactly.
Okay.
More like a
There are
social
people
construct.
who are Gen Z but don't have the
Fit
characteristics
into
I'm
that.
about to mention.
Yeah.
I think I'm one of them
Egypt.
too.
Don't mention it.
Okay.
E.g. me. Yeah.
I didn't mention anybody.
Well, I think firstly a Gen Z person stereotype, but like a Gen Z person is usually like Gen Z people are usually very creative.
Yeah.
And
Sure, I agree.
I think the reason for the creativity is the knowledge that anything is actually possible. No, like that's where the creativity comes from. The fact that there are no cages, like it's a liberal world. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Literally anything goes.
Agree.
So that's where the creativity comes from. So I think firstly a Gen Z person is liberal.
One.
Yeah. Then creative due to the liberalism. I think a Gen Z person really I don't know how to put this, but we care about ourselves a lot,
Wow.
which is what
That's
every
a
human
new
being,
one.
every human being should have.
Is it that you care about
we care
yourself?
about ourselves so much that we don't care who we are hurting while caring for ourselves.